22 stars Mark Wahlberg as the leader of this team of ghost operatives that works for the U.S. government. They have to transport a person of interest 22 miles to an airstrip to extradite him to the U.S. All the while, along the way, there's chaos going down, and people don't want this guy to get to the U.S. This movie, the trailers did not really sell me on it. I was just like, it just looks like a generic action movie. This movie was directed by Peter Berg, and I do like Peter Berg on occasion. I like Deepwater Horizon, I like Lone Survivor, that movie The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx, Jennifer Gardner. I think Jason Bateman was in it too, or Chris Cooper, something like that, I don't know. So he has shown in the past that he is capable of making a very good movie, or at least a fairly enjoyable movie. Then he's made shit like Battleship. Don't know where that came into his filmography, The Rundown, stuff like that. This is kind of a run-of-the-mill action film. Now look, I didn't hate Mile 22. I don't think it's a terrible movie by any means. It's not very good either. It's just bleh, you know? Just, whatever. I mean, disposable summer action movie. First of all, none of these characters have any development whatsoever. And the development you get from Mark Wahlberg's character comes in a montage during the opening credits scene. I'm like, that's the most cliched thing to do. That is so lazy and so predictable. I knew that that was going to happen. The only character who really gets somewhat fleshed out is Lauren Cohen's character, Alice. She was actually the best part of the movie. Lauren Cohen is really becoming a good actress. Maybe it's just this movie she's really good in, I don't know. But I really liked her in this movie. I liked her performance, and her character was probably the most sympathetic. You're looking for Ronda Rousey to kick some ass. She really doesn't. She's in the movie for 45 minutes, and that's it. Just drops a couple F-bombs, but she doesn't kick ass or anything. No roundhouse kicks, no UFC fighting maneuvers. That was kind of sad. Mark Wahlberg, though, for the most part, Mark Wahlberg gives a good performance. I'm critical on Mark Wahlberg when he's got his Boston accent and he's not supposed to be playing somebody from Boston, like in Deepwater Horizon. He's supposed to be playing a guy from Louisiana, but he sounds like he's from Boston. And then he'll shift to a southern accent in some scenes in that movie. And it's completely off. In this movie, he's fairly, he's himself, but not himself. You still have those Mark Wahlberg isms. There's one scene in this movie where he gives this monologue to this computer technician. I kind of felt bad for her, and that was where he was just going off on his Mark Wahlberg isms. But for the most part, Mark Wahlberg is fairly good in this movie. And, I mean, the dude's probably going to win the popular Oscar, isn't he? I mean, he's got Wahlburgers, he's got his own protein powder marked up, and now he's an actor. He was in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Yeah, that dude's winning that Oscar, isn't he? Fuck! But I mean, I don't know what Peter Berg was doing with the action scenes in this movie, because the action scenes, it reminded me of Quantum of Solace. There's a lot of flash cutting. I can't tell what the hell is going on. The camera's shaking everywhere. These action scenes are edited poorly. There's so much flash cutting. It was bizarre. I couldn't believe it. And then the villain in this movie is also really, really weak. He shows up, causes chaos, and then gets taken out like it's a video game. Like, oh, so you weren't all that menacing, were you? And then the ending completely sucks. It contradicts the whole movie. I was pissed off at the ending. I was like, that was a fairly enjoyable movie, but the ending kind of killed it a little bit. I did not like the ending of this movie at all, whatsoever. Did not think it needed to end like this. And Peter Berg has done some really good films recently that have been on the longer side. I mean, Deepwater Horizon's an hour and 45, but I mean, Lone Survivor's 2 hours, Patriots Day is 2 hours and 15. It was kind of upsetting, and I was kind of dismayed to know that this was only an hour and 28 minutes if you don't count credits. That was really weird. This is a very short movie, and the main plot of the movie where they have to escort this person of interest 22 miles to this airstrip, that does not happen until about 50 minutes into the movie. You're halfway into the movie when that actually happens. So you only have 45 minutes left. The plot is one of those things that's not confusing, then it gets confusing, and it's not confusing, then it gets confusing. It's one of those things. The movie doesn't have a big runtime. It doesn't have as much time as it thinks it does to hammer out all these plot details. There's something with this disc. I'm like, where did this come from? Did I miss something? I guess must have missed something at the beginning. And the beginning scene is weird because you think it's like, okay, this is like the introduction scene. But then it comes back around at the end and you're like, oh, well, that ties into that. I mean, the action scenes, I think, would have been better to watch if there wasn't so much flash cutting. That's my problem with the action scenes in this movie. I mean, I have no problem with the violence that happens. It's a very violent movie. Blood gets spilled on people. And yeah, that happens. I think it would have been more fun to watch if it was filmed in a conventional way. Not with a bunch of flash cutting and quick cuts. That didn't work for me. I think this is a conventional action thriller. I don't think this is going to win awards. I don't think a lot of people are really going to walk out of this movie and be like, yeah, that's one of Mark Wahlberg's better movies, because it's really not. It's just fine. I mean, I was happy I watched this movie. And, I mean, I'm probably not going to watch it again. But, I mean, for a one-time watch for a free screening, I was like, alright, whatever. I mean, yeah, Mark Wahlberg doing Mark Wahlberg things. It's fine, you know. Like I said, I didn't love this movie, didn't hate it, just right in the middle somewhere. I'm going to give Mile 22 a C. Guys, thank you for watching my review of Mile 22. I will have a special review coming, hopefully tomorrow or later this weekend. Next week, I probably will not be able to see any movies until Sunday night. I'm going on vacation. I have a bachelor party I gotta go to in Florida. So I will be gone Wednesday to Sunday. Sunday night, I should be able to see something. We'll see. Depends on how tired I am. Thank you for watching. I will leave all my links to my social media accounts in the description below. You can access those on my website, which will be in the description below. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, a certified G and a bona fide stud.